Hi there, I'm Gloria Makarenko. Gang hei fa choi. Welcome to the Year of the Rabbit. This is our Vancouver. Coming up, a very coastal BC spa idea takes to the water. And celebrating the Year of the Rabbit with food and fundraising. But first, setting fitness goals and gaining new friendships and a positive attitude. You know, there's a lot of talk about mental health in January. Yeah, the first month of the year, this can be a time for people to set goals, maybe try to improve their health and improve their outlook on life too. Well, Vishnu Vardhan, he had a great goal last year. He completed 75 hikes. Vishnu, hi there and welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, why on earth did you set this goal of 75 hikes for 2022?
Well, I always have a deep passion towards mountain and curiosity about existence. But it was always a long distance admiration for me all these my life. But this time I thought I should start, and later part of 2021 I had my first hike, and early part of 2022 I read another article, somebody did 65. I said, oh, then I should do something more. Then that's all it happened, and 75 happened.
Yeah, but so, okay, 75 hikes. How many pairs of hiking boots did you go through?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you to bring them in, because I think that's amazing. These boots were made for walking, right? This is crazy. 75 hikes. And we're not talking like a little walk in the park. These are 10, 12-hour hikes.
70,000 meters of elevation gain altogether. And more than 1,000 kilometers, this shoe has helped me.
I love that.
It has seen rain, it has seen snow, it has seen forest fire, forest fire, all those things it has seen. Yeah?
Right. Okay, 75 hikes, and we know there's only 52 weeks in a year. You work full time, right?
Yeah, I work full time.
So how did you even plan this out?
I do back-to-back Saturday as well as Sunday. People tell me that I've gone crazy, but the moment you fall in love with the mountain and the kind of experience you get up there, nothing stops you. Whether your muscle will say no, your body is going to say no, doesn't matter as long as you enjoy what is happening.
I love that outlook. So did you go by yourself? Did you invite others along?
So second part of 2021, that is where first time I'm into hiking. I never been into hiking prior to that. I used to join random groups. So there, people just go there at the top. They just come within 1 minute or 2 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. They say, let's go back. Let's say go back. Then I thought, no, it's high time that I need to spend some time there to experience the creation and creator. So that is where I started to organize all these hikes. Though I have led teams in my work before, but leading a group of random strangers in the wilderness is a different ball altogether.
Tell me about that. How different? What kinds of challenges were there?
Yeah, because you organize random public group, people just join, you don't know their endurance, you don't know their risk tolerance, you don't know what is the purpose of them being there. And I've seen fights between people because somebody will be slow, somebody will be fast, then I need to go and say, let's see the tree, let's see the cloud, see how beautiful is the mist. Then I have to divert their mind, then somebody will be very lacking energy, then I need to motivate them. It's a different thing, but I enjoy personally. And when in the wilderness, it's like it's easy for me to divert their mood. So I'll just show this and this.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Now, okay, you talk about the rewards.
Yeah.
When you reach your destination, when you get to the top of that peak that you've been looking at from way below. Describe that for me.
That is like a blissed out experience, if you ask me in one word. So you spend like almost 7 hours, 8 hours to reach at the top. Your muscle will be tired, your body will be tired, you'll be like, what the heck I'm doing? Your mind is going to demotivate you. But despite all that, when you go up in the top, then you realize, so on the mountain, it doesn't matter who you are. You might be a CEO, you might be a director, you might be the head of a state. It doesn't matter. The moment you're there, you are as equal to a worm. So that is the realization you will get once you go up. And whatever problems you have in your life, everything will be like so tiny because you yourself so tiny in the vastness of this creation. So you'll be like engulfed with the vivacity of everything, right from a tiny insect, squirrels. I used to speak with the squirrels there, and it's so fun if you go at the top and just. But you have to spend time. That's a very important thing. If you don't spend time, then you will miss out the whole
You mean spend time once you get there? Sit on that mountaintop for a while.
Every step matters, but when you go at the top, it creates a huge connection between you and the nature. So this thing can be experienced even in your backyard with a small plant or a worm or an insect. But when you do this in 8 hours after spending so much energy and time, and it definitely, there is no way you will miss the beauty. That's why I request people, and all my hikes, I said, no, we are going to stay there at least an hour. We are not coming back. So people say, no, let's go. No, sit, see this, see that, see this. So that is my purpose of hiking.
Okay, well, it sounds like this was sort of a life-changing endeavor for you. Do you think you changed others that came along for some of those hikes?
I believe so. Of late, people just pinging me after getting completed this. They're being so thankful that I help them in a way to connect to the nature in a different perspective.
Right. Now, where did you go? I mean, you're based here in Metro Vancouver.
Yeah.
Is it just local mountains? Did you go far afield?
So I've been in, of course, here from sea to sky, this side, Pemberton, and the other side, Chilliwack, and been in the U.S., Northern Cascades, and Mount Rainier, and Alberta, Canadian Rockies. So been in quite a few mountains, and of course, it's a long way to go. Canada has 21,000 named mountains. Wow. And even if I can do 10% in this lifetime,
I was going to say, are you at the point right now where you're setting some new goals?
Now I'm planning to get into more time in the nature, spending more time and connecting and to enjoy the nature. So last year I spent 1,000 hours. Probably this year I will spend more than at least 1,500 hours at least with the nature and experience the creation.
Vishnu, you are totally inspiring. If someone is listening right now and maybe wants to try it, where would be like first place to go? What's a good first hike?
It depends. So for me, the first hike was one of the longest hike where I had to, I was the last person in that group. We had 20 plus people, and the organizer was so kind enough, and he was waiting for me, and despite I was so slow. But again, it depends on what kind of fitness level you are and what kind of passion you have. So I would recommend to start with something like 300 meters of elevation gain. Slowly you can up and up and up. So obviously we have North Shore, we have Cypress, we have Seymour. So you just start from there. But once you get that connection, you get energy. At least I get energy from it.
That's obvious that you get energy from it. Wow, isn't that great? I'm certainly inspired, and thank you. Have a wonderful 2023.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Thank you.
Hi, this is Elaine from The Lobster Man. You are watching Our Vancouver.
All right, it's time for one of our favorite features. This is where we get to showcase a number of the photographs that you send in. Let's start with this one. The Aurora Borealis put on quite a show over Green Lake in the BC interior. Thank you so much to Warren Lowe for sending us that one. Just gorgeous. And Wendy Morley was out in Richmond for a walk at Iona Regional Park. What a great image of people taking in the sunset on the jetty. Just love it. Thank you very much. And speaking of sunsets, look at this. Lisa Browham was on Hollyburn Mountain for this stunning display of light going away. A big burst of color there. Just wonderful. And send us more. It's easy. Just email your favorite shots to us at bcphotos@cbc.ca. bcphotos@cbc.ca. Okay, giving out red pockets or lai si. It's a big part of Lunar New Year. The lucky money inside the red envelopes symbolizes good fortune and other blessings. But the envelopes themselves hold a special meaning. And to make the tradition more accessible to the next generation of Chinese Canadians, Kevin Lee has started a project called Mission Red Pocket. And he spoke to Stephen Quinn on CBC Radio's The Early Edition.
Selves hold special meaning as well, and to make the tradition more accessible to the next generation of Chinese Canadians, Kevin Lee has started a project called Mission Red Pocket. And Kevin joins us in studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I like a person with a mission. What is Mission Red Pocket?
Well, like you said, Mission Red Pocket is about making tradition more accessible to parents like me and also to kids like my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter was born last year. We celebrated her 1 year just in December. And in that process, my wife and I were made a plan about speaking more Chinese at home because she can learn English at school in kindergarten or and then so like okay, we're gonna do this, and then we didn't get through the first hour before cracking out some English within our Chinese because our Chinese is limited.
Yeah.
And if I could even pass sort of a daily conversation to my daughter, how I'm going to pass tradition. And it was around the same time of Mid-Autumn Festival. Well, what do we eat again? How do we celebrate it? We want to get some people together. And so, what can we do to carry tradition forward in our own Chinese Canadian way? Well, what about Red Pockets?
Right.
And this how the idea came about.
Okay, so tell me about the Red Pockets. You brought a couple of them in.
I did. Okay, so this here is a traditional one.
Yes.
And so I'll give it to you right now. You can probably describe it to your listeners.
Well, you probably do a better job describing of it, but it's one of the sort of classic, Chinese paper envelopes. It's embossed with shiny characters on it, which says
Dai Gut Dai Lei. But see, you wouldn't know what that means I can't really read it, but I know that because I've asked my dad.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
So then if you were to receive that,
I would ask somebody what it says on the outside, and then I would look inside to see if there's money in it. No money.
It's not Chinese New Year's yet. You got to wait till next week.
I know.
Okay, so this is the same writing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Designed by a local Chinese Canadian artist. And this is the same 4 characters, Dai Gut Dai Lei.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's very beautifully designed.
It is, and this is a much more graphically much more modern. The other one, the small red envelope, is, I should say, it's about 3 inches by about 4 inches. This one is about the size to slip in $100 bill there,
and then some,
I'd say. And this is heavier cardboard, and it's a much more modern sort of graphic interpretation of those original. Yeah, and I see the characters here as well.
And if you read the back.
And the back says, literally translated into big luck, big wins. A greeting that wishes you good luck and great prosperity. And it's got a QR code on it, for gosh sakes.
And it's got phonetics that teaches you what those 4 characters and how to say those.
Oh, Dai Gut Dai Lei.
You spoke Cantonese. Look at that. How amazing is that?
That's fantastic.
And then there's also Mandarin version.
Yeah.
Dai Di Dai Li, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's to really connect with the Cantonese and the Mandarin dialects in Vancouver. And this is what we want to do. Even though you may not understand fully, at least you can carry a little bit forward, right? Yeah.
Right. And do you have any more? You brought this?
Yeah. So here's 2 more.
Okay.
And this one here is designed by an artist, Terry Wong.
Okay.
And it's a green one, kind of a sort of a jade background.
That's what's so interesting too, is that these colors are quite different than the sort of straight up bright red that we see at this time of year. I mean, one of these is sort of orange and sort of a darker red and burnt sienna kind of look, and then this one is this lovely green.
Yeah, it's jade, and then so the artist Terry Wong wanted to remind people about his grandmother and the stories that she's passed on to him, and she remembers she wore some jade and some gold. And that's the inspiration for that particular envelope. And then, so what does that say in the front, the phonetics?
It says Sun Tai Gin Hong.
And what does it mean in the back?
Well, it says here, wishing you good health.
Well, then, hey.
Is that right?
It is. That's what it...
So Shen Ti Jian Kang?
Yeah, that's Mandarin.
Is Mandarin, and Sun Tai Gin Hong
is Cantonese.
Is Cantonese. What's amazing about this is the sort of fake embossment around the edge, which is part of the graphic, which is just amazing looking because it looks like jade. It looks completely 3-dimensional.
Yeah, so there's a lot of printing options these days. And this is one of the designs the artist wanted to carry forward to the receiver.
And now, if you were to approach an older Chinese person in the city, and the traditional red envelope is what you think of, how would people react to one of these? Do you think?
I think it's definitely for the next generation of Chinese Canadians, like again parents like myself that will want to give this, because the traditional one that you saw.
Yeah.
These are the ones I used to buy. Like I wasn't married at the time, so I would buy like gold ones, for example, to give out for birthdays. It's not limited. The red pocket's actually not limited to Lunar New Year. They can be used throughout the year, actually. And so I would actually have to call my dad or take a photo, and it says, "Hey, Dad, what does this mean? Is this appropriate for a birthday? Is this appropriate for an anniversary, or is this for a graduation or something like that?" And he would have to confirm with me. Well, maybe you wouldn't use this one. You probably use another one.
Okay. I'm trying to get to where the QR code is on the back of this, but...
It just leads to the website.
Oh, okay. That's good, because the CBC firewall won't let me in. So there you go. It's all pretty secure around here. No, and I know this because I used to go to this produce place on Main Street a million years ago when my daughter, who's now in third year university, was a tiny infant, and it was my regular place to pick up fresh produce, and the folks who owned it gave me a red envelope with money in it because as a wish for my daughter, and it was just the loveliest thing.
Yeah. And then with Mission Red Pocket, your daughter would then understand what the well wishes are, because you wouldn't throw away a Hallmark card somebody gave you for Christmas because they took time to choose that card. Right, so the red envelope, the red pocket would be the same thing. We want people to appreciate the art. We want people to appreciate the greeting. This greeting is personally selected for you.
Kevin, they're just beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing them in and telling us more about it.
Well, thank you for having me.
What a great effort! What a great idea to pass it on to the next generation. Good for you.
Coming up, a child born today will witness the near disappearance of Western Canada's glaciers. Johanna Wagstaffe will bring us the latest research.
A sweeping study of all the world's glaciers outside of Greenland and the Antarctic ice sheets has found that nearly half of them will melt by century's end, even if the world meets its most ambitious global warming goal. The study was the cover of the journal Science, and researchers found that even with just 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming above pre-industrial levels, some 100,000 of the world's more than 215,000 mountain glaciers and ice caps will melt, raising global sea levels about 10 centimeters. On the upper end of potential warming is 3 degrees, and this research found that translates into a loss of over 70% of global glaciers, 13 centimeters of sea level rise. So while many losses are already baked in, so to speak, it's absolutely still worth trying to avoid whatever warming we can. The study found that the greatest impact will happen first to the world's smallest glaciers, those less than 1 square kilometer in area. So what about the glaciers here in Western Canada? Brian Menounos is a professor at the University of Northern British Columbia and one of the authors of the study.
When we think about Western Canada, we don't have, there's not a tremendous amount of ice on average. That is, if we took all of the ice in British Columbia and Alberta and melted it overnight, we're only talking about a couple millimeters of sea level rise. It's really more of a water availability and timing story.
These small glaciers play important roles in local ecosystems and water supply. In fact, an estimated 1.9 billion people worldwide depend on glaciers for water. To be able to get this level of detail on the projected life cycle of individual glaciers, this study went beyond just looking at climate models of precip and temperatures to get a low-resolution picture. Instead, they used physically based models that included debris cover and ocean impacts. The good news is that our decisions and actions today will have an impact on ice loss and sea level rise in the future. And now you're Science Smart. If you have a science question on your mind, send me an email and I'll try to get it answered.
Thanks so much, Johanna. You're watching Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko, and welcome to the Year of the Rabbit. Yeah, Lunar New Year's activities are underway all across the province, including chefs here in Vancouver, preparing for the upcoming Feast of Fortune charity gala. That's taking place February 11th. So with us today, Des Lowe and Leah Bow, they're going to present their canapes to a crowd who's going to contribute to the new St. Paul's Hospital. So this is a fundraiser organized by the Chinese Restaurant Awards. So, gang hei fat choi to both of you.
Thank you, yeah.
So good to see you both, seriously. So, Lee, let's begin with you. I think we can talk about Lunar New Year, but the significance of what it is that you're preparing. Why don't you take us through it?
It is, yeah. So I prepared this canopy for that charity, especially it's meaning the Lunar New Year. It's in Chinese, different ingredient, how they pronounce, and it's very similar to certain kind of happiness, long life.
I see.
And so for the scallop itself, it pronounces similar to bring your child in a good way, and also if you want to have a new baby in the rabbit year, that's the scallop.
Okay, why didn't you say it for me?
It's called 带子. So 子 it means son.
Okay.
Children, right? 带 is mean bring me the son, bring me the children.
I see.
Yes, it is. It's very interesting. Yeah.
So, okay, and the year of the rabbit would signify someone who is a little bit thoughtful, calm. That's sort of the significance here. And I'm looking at this scallop. What else have you got on it?
So also there's a tiger shrimp, Swiss sour tiger shrimp on top of it. It's usually means laugh, happiness. So it's ha, it means 笑.
Okay.
It means la. Ha ha ha. It means laugh. It brings you happiness, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
Beneath there, and there's a sautéed mushroom. The shapes looks like this, like a golden nugget. How the mushroom shape is similar to this.
I see.
So it means fortune, money in that way. So it's a miniature seafood tower. It's a combination of different flavors. On top is sturgeon caviar with green sea urchin.
Well, here's a little sturgeon caviar on the top there. I'm not going to take a bite of this right now, or we won't be able to continue our conversation.
Yeah.
And I love all the symbolism, not only in what the seafood itself represents, but the sounds, how it sounds. That's really wonderful. So what else have you brought here?
Oh, this is one of our signature dish in our restaurant. It's a sticky rice. On top of it is a sautéed Nova Scotia lobster.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's get all the seafood flavor into the rice.
Yes.
And at the same time, you have the lotus leaf flavor all steaming together.
So is seafood in particularly a big demand for Lunar New Year?
It is, especially for seafood, fish-wise. And the fish is always a symptom of prosperity, and you have some good fortune in the next year.
I see. Now,
Yeah.
how busy are you this time of year?
I cannot imagine.
Really?
Yes, very busy. Yes,
Very busy.
Yes.
Okay, because everybody wants to have their big dinners and come
Yes,
in
yes.
and enjoy. Des, what about for you? I mean, is this? Do you celebrate with family? Are you constantly cooking? What does Lunar New Year mean for you?
Lunar New Year for me is to spend time with your family because we're so busy, 360 days of the year, and then this is the really time that I can settle down and don't have to worry about work and spend time with my mom and family. Yeah. So to me,
Okay,
it's
well, and
important.
you've had an interesting time as well. You've been recognized on a more national level, haven't you?
Yes. So last summer I competed Top Chef Canada season 10, and it was fun and crazy, but it was the best thing I've ever done for myself.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Why don't you tell me about some of the significance of what you've prepared for
So
us?
for the Feast of Fortune Gala, I will be preparing the drunken chicken because it's one of my favorite way to eat chicken is through marinating through different type of Chinese Hua Diao and Shaoxing wine.
Okay.
So this is an elevated version, and so it's the drunken chicken ballantine with a frog crab pate, Hua Diao wine gelée,
Yes.
goji berry coulis over a crispy chicken skin.
Oh, I see. And I know that you both sort of prepared these so they're bite-sized in a
Yes.
sense because they're going to be circulating through.
Yes.
It's that kind of
The canapé
an event,
style.
the canapé style. Bites. Again, that's too much of a bite for me to take while we're still talking. But what about this
So this
beautiful
this is
chunk?
a very traditional Chinese New Year dish, which is pork hock over braised shiitake mushroom, baby bok choy, and I want to bring a little bit of my elevated flavor, so I actually drizzle it with some black truffle vinaigrette. But pork hock means when you eat a fatty pork hock, that means you're able to grab wealth and prosperity very easily with your hand, because it's just like, it's a way to say 横财就手, that you can grab wealth with your hand.
I love that. Yes. I love the symbolism in all of this. And how does it make you feel as you have people sitting down and celebrating? You're doing all the work there, but what goes through your mind in watching them enjoy what you've prepared?
It's a lot of enjoyment, actually. I think that's being a chef, that's a top of our priority, to see our audience, to see our customers, enjoy the food and being shared the different salts. It's important for us.
And and where can people find your food when they're not at an event and eating your canapes?
We have a restaurant in Richmond called the Fishman Restaurant.
Mm-hmm. And you were recognized as well at the Chinese Food Awards.
Yes.
You were number one. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That.
Yes.
No, it's great. And what about for you, Des?
For now, I'm just taking a little hiatus from cooking.
Yes.
I would like to participate more in events like this to pay back to the society. That's one of the reasons why I said yes to give my know-how and my time for this Feast of Fortune, is to pay back to society. And I got a couple pop-ups coming up on January 30th. I have my own congee pop-up in Chinatown. So I just want to be able to do my thing for now.
Well, you're both busy. You're both doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
you,
some of
yeah.
the love and symbolism and excitement of the Lunar New Year. Okay. We'll say goodbye for now, and then I get to take a bite, okay?
Sure, of course, yes.
Do this. Bye-bye.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world.
If you would like to go out and see some live music, the South Korean quartet known as Forestella perform at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre January 26th. And Claro from Atlanta, Georgia brings her indie pop tunes to the Orpheum Theatre, also January 26th.
Hey, I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music with a look ahead at some of the music that you can look forward to that is set to drop in 2023. Those are a few of the songs from several highly anticipated Canadian albums coming out this year. Yes, that was country pop queen Shania Twain out of Timmins, Ontario, who returns with her first album in 6 years in February. It's called Queen of Me, and that was one of the red-hot singles from the record entitled Waking Up Dreaming. Also in there was Andy Schaaf from Regina with his new song Wasted on You from his upcoming album called Norm, also out in February. As well, Winnipeg artist Begonia with Right Here from her upcoming album called Powder Blue. And kicking off 2023 with a bang, July Talk ignites our new year with their latest album, Remember Never Before, which is already out. Those are just a few of the great Canadian records coming down the frozen highway in 2023, and many of those singles are climbing the CBC Music Top 20 right now. And when it comes to big international releases, you can look forward to new albums in 2023 by Gorillaz, Metallica, Iggy Pop, Lana Del Rey, Yo La Tengo, and more. Those are just some of the songs and artists and albums that you can add to your new music playlist for 2023. I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music. I'll check in with you again next week.
Coming up, a big steamliner may just get a second life as a floating spa. Hi, welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, when you think Scandinavian style, rest and relaxation, you likely picture anything but an old steamliner. But one company is trying to change that by proposing a floating space for Victoria's Inner Harbour. Meetings were held about the idea earlier this week, and our cameras got a tour of the repurposed marine vessel.
Hi, my name is Nick Van Buren. We're on the top deck of Haven. Downstairs, when you come in, there'll be a reception. There's a very small retail space. You come around the corner into a universal washroom, so guys and girls go in the same one, and then there's individual change stalls. So you change in there. And then when you come out of that, down the back, there's a sauna, some areas that we're going to future build out. There's a couple water features down there, and then you come up to the top deck, and up here we've got 3 saunas. Each one's a little bit different. So we've got a really hot pine sauna. There's a cedar one that's high humidity, a cedar one that's a little bit lower humidity. There's a space that's indoors, so if the weather's bad, you can just relax. And then there's a few cold pools, a few hot tubs, areas to sit outside. So you could be outside today, hanging out outdoors, enjoying a sauna, enjoying the sun and then the view. And if it's raining, you can still be outside year round. So it's just a space to come and enjoy. All the edges are actually garden planters. There's 12 or 15 trees going on the top deck, lots of grasses. We want it to look like a garden. So it's a very unique vessel. There was only 6 of them made in 1943. So World War II, they made them in Tacoma, near Seattle. It has a bow, so it has a very ship-like aesthetic, but there's no propulsion. We are just floating like a barge. Well, the hull is black, the house on it is gray, and then the buildings will be the wood with the greenery. We're gonna do some pattern, a little bit of a light mural on the side, so it'll have that dark aesthetic, but we're gonna liven it up. I think having people come down to the Inner Harbor to places like Ships Point is a good thing. We've got this great waterfront. It doesn't really get used 6-8 months of the year. You know, if we can use a spot that really right now is just used for private boat mooring, and people can come down and they can patronize us, great. We're bringing some vibrancy to the area, and that's something that's clearly desired. So you'll be able to see the Empress and Parliament and the harbor entrance, and how it can hopefully be a spark that starts that transition to converting the Ships Point parking lot into the Ships Point waterfront park that's been envisioned.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and this is Our Vancouver.
Okay, now that you're nice and relaxed after that spa story, let's just keep that mood going. You're about to see a sample from a new CBC documentary. It's called At Katsam. That's the Squamish word for paddling north. And it takes you on a journey from the shorelines of Howe Sound up into the mountains overlooking the city. And it's entirely unnarrated, just the wonders of BC's coast, captured in a day-long journey. And it's meant to unhook the viewer from their everyday. That video is now up on our CBC Vancouver YouTube page and our website. You can access it anytime you'd like.